Podfix.
Shrimp cocktail.
San Diego.
Cake.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. And even though I couldn't record that live stream, you are the podcast beneath my wings. Thank you, thank God for you, the podcast beneath my live stream.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sitting on the bench. Writing's really hard. We need another snack. And that is just a fact. Oh.
Hi, this is Shauna.
And this is Trisha.
And this is Two Girls on a Bench.
The podcast.
We write on the bench.
We snack on the bench.
And most of all, we procrastinate
On the bench.
Yay.
Turn your mic towards your mouth.
It is.
It was towards your cheek. You know it wasn't.
I was cattywomp with
You're
my mic.
Cattywampus. So, if you're new to the show, which I have to laugh because Shauna hates it when I say that. But I was listening to another podcast today. Actually, they're part of the Podfix network now, Mouse and Weens. You might have listened to them before. Or not, but if you haven't, you should.
Go take a listen,
And they're
everybody.
Sisters that have a really fun podcast. So shout out to Mouse and Weens. But they do a great intro where they actually say, like,
Is it better than ours?
yes, who they are and
Well, we see who we
what's
are.
happening. No, but like, why are we here together? How do we?
We're Two
How did
Girls
that
on a
happen?
Bench, the podcast.
That's all you need to know. Like, share, boom, drop
Just
mic.
Two Girls on a Bench, the podcast. I'm just going to keep saying that. I'm not going to explain what it means.
So
we observe the world from the virtual bench. I mean, do
We
we have to
do.
do that whole thing?
I mean, that was a good start until you stopped yourself.
Oh,
but
go ahead.
So we do that without the sarcasm, or actually with a lot of sarcasm. But
What would the
we
show be without
we've
that?
been friends for 28 years. We've been writing partners for almost as long. We
Yeah,
don't
like 27 of the
27 of the
years.
28 years we've been writing together.
Second of the first year.
I mean, it's a lot.
We had a radio show the first year, so
Oh.
let's just say 28.
I mean, we did have a radio show with puppets.
And that was like
And there
right when
was
we met each other.
no audience.
Nobody
was
listened to it.
Very quick decision on our part to start broadcasting together. Oh, funny. And we had a blog for a long time about our writing shenanigans, mostly about our snacks. And
Was that our first year or was it the second year?
I think it was the second year.
Yeah, now I'm like rewriting history.
we lived
I
together at that
suddenly-
point. Yeah.
So shout out to Bret-Jordan. I remember him coming
Yes.
to the station and
To
like
watch
dancing
us.
around with
Yes.
us, like we're listening to a song, and I'm like, wait, he's a year younger than us, so that probably wasn't
Yeah.
the first year.
So,
Or like he was visiting. Okay.
Yes. So no, long time friendship, long time writing relationship. And this podcast is about anything we want it to be about, but mostly it's because we're procrastinating some sort of writing project we should be working on. And we're trying to bring together a community of writers with our Bench Write Club, which we will talk about today. Anybody can submit to the Bench Write Club, and you don't have to be a writer. You might just like to write. If you like to write, you are a writer. So there you go.
I mean, it doesn't like what I mean.
You have
what
to
is
be
a
like
writer?
like we're not
Let
like
me-
published. What is a writer,
Let
Shauna?
me do a quote that might illuminate this. But are you done with like a good intro? Or should we do
I'm
more?
good.
Okay,
That was pretty good.
that was good. You did a good job. I wish I had like a little applause, like sound effect, like yeah, yeah.
There you go. I could insert one, but
We've started doing that a lot at work with Zoom, where we do like the gifs that are like people like applauding and stuff, or I do like the Peanuts one where the kids are all like dancing or like
Hilarious.
applauding. I'm like, I can really gif the heck out of that. Okay, here's the quote. Writers spend 3 years rearranging 26 letters of the alphabet. It's enough to make you lose your mind day by day. Richard Price. Okay, so we didn't know who Richard Price was, but we had a lot of theories about a combo between Richard Pryor and Vincent Price, and then that was not right. So Richard Price is actually a novelist and screenwriter that wrote The Wanderers, Clockers, and Lush Life. He's also written for television, including The Wire, The Night of, The Deuce. So there you go. In case you wanted to know who Richard Price was.
I mean, he's a contributing writer on The Wire. Because it's a pretty big show, isn't it?
I mean, it's over, but yeah, back when it was on.
Whatever.
He's great. And he just really summed up what writing was.
He
which
did.
is rearranging the same 26 letters. Like, that's such a good way to say it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. We're done. Just kidding.
So, some of you might know or be aware that last weekend something amazing happened. We did a live stream to raise money to help find a cure for epilepsy on the same day that something else amazing happened.
Something that was like a worldwide event that like the bells of Notre Dame were ringing about or something.
Right? Yeah, when they...
Well, no competition here. No competition.
John Oliver said this on his show. They're like... Or no, it was SNL, where they were like, they don't even ring the bells when like the Hunchback died, like in Paris. But when like the United States gets a new president, they're like, ring the bells!
Yeah, it was pretty insane.
Ugh,
that was a crazy day.
That's not always a great day to pick your live stream, but
well, we didn't know.
We didn't. Well, no one knew.
Nobody knew,
and it was the actual virtual walk to end epilepsy.
We were
here
on
in Los
schedule,
Angeles. So we're in Los Angeles, California. So yeah, and we made about $2,500. So thank you to everyone who donated.
Thank you so much to all the podcasters that came out. I have to tell you, we had so much fun, and it was such a great day. We got to like sort of virtually meet people we hadn't met like in person or whatever before.
Well, first, I just have to say thank you to Drew Hallam of Real Feels podcast, because he was our co-host and kept in the chat and helped us test and spent hours and hours with us beforehand.
Yes.
So there were a lot of technical issues. It was a little hairy.
No, I mean Drew was like eating dinner with us
there
on like
Thursday,
vocal,
Friday,
like and then was like having drinks with us on Friday and was like still there again all day Saturday. No, thank you, Drew. You're amazing. Oh my god.
So insert applause.
Funny, has a good sense of humor, thank God.
No, and
that's what this kind of thing needs, a sense of humor.
Do I just list out all the folks we're
Yes,
thankful for?
do a big thankfulness.
Okay. Thank you. I should have like some like Jack Handy music in the background. Like, thank you, Drew Hallam, for being there for us, even when we were doing nothing with you, except you were like our support mechanism. I'll put some underneath this.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Josh Hallmark, for matching all the gifts during your segment.
Thank you, Josh. Also,
dropping clues.
Up new season, by the way. Just listen to the first episode.
I mean, Josh dropped clues about his new season. He brought his own like group of audience members to our live stream, and then he matched all the donations during his segment. So that was super generous.
Here's a sweetheart.
Thank you, Josh of True Crime Bullshit. Thank you, Mel Brooks or Melissa of Brook Reading Podcast.
Oh my God, for sharing such a personal, amazing story.
Such a hard story. And then
from a zine.
For all your buttons. And
she was wearing a lot of buttons.
I mean, it was a button kind of day.
It was
all right?
Definitely that kind of vibe. Thank you, Mel.
Mel
You're
Brooks,
the best.
You brought it, so thank you. Thank you, Paul Chomo, for doing a mini segment of Varmints with Lacey. Lacey's my daughter. The whole fundraiser started with her and her experience with epilepsy.
Yeah.
She's a fan of Varmints podcast, which if you have a family, it's like the family-friendly, not true crime podcast you can listen to about animal facts. Super fun.
And he sent you guys some snacks to try that were like a weird dried fish thing.
Not only did he send snacks, my daughter basically coerced him into donating more so she would lick one of them.
Oh yeah, no,
she wouldn't even eat it.
And then she was like, asking him questions about animals, and then she's like, if you want a hint, it's $5 more.
I know.
She was doing good with the fundraising. I know, I like it. She was making me really happy with that.
Paul, thank you for that. And also,
you're great, Paul.
If you caught Paul's segment and you want more of the Paul, you should there's checking in with Chomo. There's also Podfix Network. Paul is part of the Podfix Network like we are, but he also is doing a daily podcast for National Podcast Month, National NAPOD Pomo. NAPOD Pomo. And every day of November, Paul
Is it still November? I feel like that. I feel
I
like
do
we
too.
talked about that 3 months ago.
So
it
I
was
started
like
to
last
say
week.
it, and then I was like, "Is it still November?" So Paul
my
is trying
God.
every single Campbell soup for the month of November and
Nemo Podmo.
Napod Pomo.
So
You can't
hard.
even do
I
it.
can't do it.
So Paul is doing that, and I mean, they're like 3-minute long podcasts. Just go binge all of them because it's hilarious.
He's
and
eating all the soups.
all the soups, and
Like-
some of them are not good food. Campbell's soup.
Well, some of them are a mixer.
Do you know there's a cream of shrimp, Shauna?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I mean you told me already.
No,
Now I know.
when he pours it out and he's like, it's kind of like a gelatinous gray color. Like it's incredible. So check out Paul and his various podcasts because they are all worth it. And
bow tie is
what
very
else?
formal.
Do you
let's
want to
see.
shout out?
Kelly from Boobies and Newbies. Oh my God. So fun. You're like the best. I feel like as soon as I saw her, I was like, I feel like I've known you 100 years.
Yeah.
Like she's just that kind of like fun person that you just immediately are like super comfortable around. And she like read some like racy like romance novel stuff because people were like, we're going to donate if you read something. And thank you, Benchlings, for all being there also, by the way.
I know, right? Jeez, you guys were there like the whole day. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Skipper Bob from the Cretans Guild and his wife Alicia came on. They also had an epilepsy story. In addition to just Bob, he just like hung out with us all day.
He just jumped in and he's so fun and just great. And their stories were really cool. And we talked with them for a while about like theme parks and like rides we like, and that was really fun.
It was really nostalgic and super fun. So thank you, Christine Blackburn of Storyworthy and the famous improv game show Story Smash.
So fun. She set up her whole wheel. She danced around. Christine never disappoints.
No, and Keith of Pop Up Filmcast came and joined us for that and told his 1-minute story.
And
Dr. Shiloh from
came in.
LA Not So Confidential didn't even know what she was volunteering
And
for.
she won.
And she won. And Edgar, your husband, even came on and told a drunk tank story. So that was fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christine.
Everyone's got a drunk
All the
t-shirt.
contestants. Amazing. Then, speaking of Dr. Shiloh and Dr. Scott from LA Not So Confidential, they came on. That was amazing to like meet them virtually.
It was so fun to meet them. Sort of. Well, we had already been talking to Dr. Shiloh / contestant on Story Smash before that, but they're so great. They're so professional. They're so organized. They're so like on topic.
They're like the opposite of us.
Yeah, they're and they are like legit forensic psychologists, so they like know what they're talking about.
So they've got live streams on Get Vocal and their podcast, so check them out if you haven't, especially if you like true crime, because they really get into the
so
behind the
good.
scenes. Who else? Sean, What Does It Matter podcast, and Pitney and Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique. Pitney and Amelia and Sean.
That's like what was
They had
hilarious.
an hour together, and I mean,
they talked about this John Stamos movie, and they had like VHS copies of it they were holding up, and and Sean, by the way, just jumped in a lot and was hilarious and played his guitar.
I don't know. At the end of the night, when Sean was just riffing on the guitar, no matter what we threw at him, he could play it.
We could have just stayed on for like 3 hours doing that.
At that point, we were all.
It was just very like play some Bon Jovi. Come on, and he's like, got it, and we're just like, wow, this is really fun. Best.
Go ahead, you do this one.
I'm sorry, it's like all so far away. Okay, so Molly McAleer from Mother May I Sleep With podcast. So funny, so much fun. Thank you so much, Molls, for joining us. We like love her. She's like a new friend we've made the last couple of years, or maybe did we just meet her this year? It's that long year where I can't tell how long it's been.
It was this year because I had my foot in a boot at that point.
It's so hard.
How
to
many
know.
boots has my foot been in? It sounded like I said boobs, huh? It did. I'm just going to move forward from that.
All right. Anyway, Molly was amazing. And we did some fun little quizzes with her and had a good time. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time. And let me tell you, if you are not listening to Mother May I Sleep With podcast and you are a fan of Lifetime movies, you need to get your priorities straight.
Or even if you aren't, you can breeze through a few by listening to her show.
Yes.
It's so fun. I one time I was going to watch one and I was like, wait, I already heard an episode of Mother May I Sleep With podcast. I feel like I watched this movie, so I'm going to watch a different one.
Yeah, no, it's
Because
great.
I was like, I feel like I know everything about it now. I don't
know what
I
it
don't need
is?
to watch it.
It's the way to listen to Lifetime movies. And Malls, you can have this tagline. It's a way to listen to Lifetime movies on your commute.
Ooh,
Right? You
yeah,
can actually
take
hear
that.
a whole movie, half on the way to work or half on the way back or whatever.
And you'll laugh and you'll cry. You probably won't cry.
All the
It's mostly
emotions.
laugh. Yeah.
Toph from This Week Today and also from Podfix Network came on and hung out with our bench lean friend Bret-Jordan, and it was Drew,
And I think
Bret-Jordan,
the
and
Hammer
Toph.
jumped in. I don't know
Hammer
if it
jumped
was
in
then,
at some point.
Yeah.
Like, guys, I mean, comedy gold. The wine Mad Libs alone were perfect.
We did wine Mad Libs, and then we were all just like couldn't come up with anything, and we're just like mostly Stephanie Hammer was like pretty much
In the
doing
chat?
everything in the
Yeah.
chat.
We're like,
all, what
what's
did she
an
say?
adverb? Yeah, it was fabulous. And then we ended the night. We ended the night with stuff after that. But Nick from Mr. Nikolai's Kitchen came on, and we made a live dessert bruschetta with.
It was not alive.
It was not alive, but we made it live. And it was angel food cake with berries and like a mint
Oh my God,
garnish.
it was so delicious.
Super yummy. And Nick, that was super fun.
And it looks just like regular bruschetta
that was
too.
what was cool about
Like
it.
if you're just glancing at it from like a
Yeah.
not even a distance, like close up, and then you're like, it's a dessert
Yeah,
one.
it was delicious, and I enjoyed more of it the next day, as did my children.
So good.
Thank
you, Nick,
you,
for that.
thank you, everybody.
And then we closed it out with Drew and Sean and
Bob and my sister,
and yeah,
and
everybody
like,
was jumping
anyone
on.
who wanted to come in at that point was like,
That's when the Bon Jovi
party
came out. It
city.
was really fun.
We had like at that point we had some champagne, and everybody got a little more fun.
Everybody
and we started
was
celebrating
having some more
like
drinks,
the
yeah.
political reasons for celebrating that day, and continuing to celebrate that.
There was a big thing that happened, and if you were perhaps a more conservative bench listener, which I'm not sure if there is one.
I don't know if there are any at this point.
We normally don't mix the political and the bench, but just this once, if you want to skip ahead like 30 seconds, we were really fucking happy.
So happy
that the results turned out the way that they did, and everyone was really distracted with that, which we totally understand.
Of
It
course.
was like a big deal, and we are just very appreciative that people voted and the votes were counted,
and that voices were heard.
yeah. So, and also we really enjoyed SNL that night, and of course,
Yes.
my favorite, Dave Grohl, was a musical
And
guest.
your friend,
What?
your friend you've met several times or seen. Sorry.
Yeah,
run
he's like
into.
my like weird like distant brother.
And
or
I saw
something.
him at Adobe Max last year too. He spoke with
He's
he
everywhere.
spoke, and like Billie Eilish was there, and like I was like, oh my God, it's Shauna's buddy.
He is like everywhere. I just couldn't. I was texting you when I got home, and I was like watching it on my phone, like falling asleep, and I was
Me
like,
too.
I can't believe
I was like
Grohl's the
passing
musical
it.
guest.
I was like trying to wait till the music section, like passing out, watching Chappelle. But anyways,
okay. So enough political talk. That wasn't very
guys,
exciting, but you know,
thank you so much, everybody who came in, joined in.
huge TY.
We owe lots of folks presents for their donations for all the fun raffles we had throughout. So those will be coming in the mail in the next couple weeks. And like we just really appreciate everybody supporting us. This was our first time, and it was probably a little obvious by like, I don't know, the technical the test you saw live on Facebook on accident.
The platform was maybe not what we wanted it to be.
It's okay.
At all.
It's okay.
But next time we have bigger plans.
Just
and Trisha
you
will,
wait.
Yeah.
I mean, now I've met all these different people too who are like, I'll hook you up with X platform next time.
They're all. We were just
should've
talking to
done
one,
this.
and they're like,
Yeah.
"This is what you should use next time." We're like, "No, shit." But
it's
anyway.
okay. It's okay because we got to learn so we can grow. And that's just
Right.
the story of my life.
Next year, better, bigger,
Longer.
get ready.
Uncut. Wait, what? I don't know what happened just now. Okay.
We have a big show for you guys today.
Got a great show tonight. Shauna Leah Gildart's here.
Should we make this more like the SNL monologue where we're like, musical guest, Trisha Marsack on the kazoo,
Yes.
Shauna on the spoons.
I don't know. We might need to do like a special like December SNL spoof or something.
I mean,
I have
we're
some
ready.
skit ideas I was telling you
we
about.
do. No, I mean, we could. You guys,
I
I don't
write
want to move to
skits.
New York, and I don't want to work day and night like they have to on SNL because I'm just too old for that now, and I have a family. But if you need like one great idea, we'll give you like 10, and you'll probably get like one good one out of it, which is kind of how they work anyway,
That's
right?
like what that sounds like fun.
It's fun.
I write them in my head all the time.
But
Well,
have
that
you-
would have been better if, and I'm like rewriting the
know.
sketch to like be shorter. I showed my daughter the Californians the other night. She's 10.
It's
Lacey
really important.
on the bench, and she was just like, oh my God, like we're taking the 101 to the Malibu Canyon, and then we're going to take Kanan to the beach.
Oh my
like,
God, this time of day.
That was pretty funny.
Stir.
All right. With that, we're going to move on to our snack. And thank you. We can't thank you enough, obviously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give me that snack book.
All right. Snack book.
So this is like a leftover snack book.
It was Shauna's daughter's birthday recently. And so we had a backyard greeting situation yesterday where they came
Yes.
over and we hung out and I made a cake.
So Trish and I just for like COVID safety, we only hang out with each other. Like we really don't see, aside from like the people I see at the grocery store when I'm wearing a mask and everything, like I really don't go anywhere, neither do you. And so we're really sort of like, we're the only people we're kind of exposed to.
We're monogamous,
Yeah.
guys.
We don't go around willy-nilly with everyone around the town. It's just us. So to get our two families together is hopefully fairly safe. I don't know.
Knock on wood.
We're literally coming from down the street.
I
So
know.
we were just here for a couple hours. We were all outdoors, and it was my daughter's 14th birthday earlier in the week. But all she ever wants is for Tia, which is what she calls Trisha,
Me.
to make her a cake. That's all.
Yes.
That's what she always wants because Trisha makes the cakes for my children's birthdays.
I do.
I don't.
And over the years, I have learned. Okay, so I've made like some Pinterest things you wouldn't think you'd ever make, like the cake with the candy on the outside.
Oh, with the Kit Kats.
The Kit Kats and the
It's
M&Ms.
amazing.
I made that twice for your son.
Yeah.
And then, because he wanted it again.
You made it first for Edgar.
Oh, as a
and then-
surprise.
And
then I
he-
made it
and
for
he was like
Ellen.
losing his mind over it. Yeah.
So that was like a picture I saw someone do, and I was like, I want to try that. And so
then you did a
super
cool like
easy.
tie-dye one for Griselda.
I did. Last year I did all the colors. I also made it from scratch, and I did a gluten-free cake, which I had never
Which
done
was
before.
great,
I
but
always did like a box cake.
This last one you made was
Well,
ridiculously
that's
good.
where making a scratch cake like gets me, because I can make a box cake and throw instant pudding in it, which is the secret recipe.
Let me
and
just
it's
tell
so
you,
good.
everybody, this cake, we were like gonna like
You guys all were gonna
we
die.
were gonna die. We were like, what's wrong? This cake is so moist. I know you know
and
you hate
very
that word.
flavorful.
No, but it wasn't dry at all because cake can be dry.
Yeah,
like
of
and
course
it
it
was
can.
completely not dry, and it was so good. And she decorated it with the Jack Skellington face, which
That was
my daughter
Lucy's
loves.
idea.
Well, it just what I love about it is it showed how much you guys know her.
Yeah.
like that you know what like it's important for her.
No, because
to
I
know
was gonna
that.
text you and be like, "What kind of cake does she want?" And last year I didn't do a theme. I just did. She had been dyeing her hair like turquoise and purple and yellow and
Yeah,
all these
yeah.
colors, and
It was
so
like
the
tie-dye.
cake was like tie dye,
cool.
and then the frosting there was like purple on the inside and then green on the outside, and then
It was
I
a
used
cool
like
looking
colors to make her like age in
And the year
thing.
before you did like a strawberry one. That was right after we had
Yes.
evacuated from the fires. So every year Trisha's making cakes. I bought her a cake carrier so she
Yeah.
could bring a
No,
cake
'cause
to my house.
last year, after I did the two kids' birthdays, we live
Hit my
really
head.
close to each other. But I was like, Shauna, I drive to your house, which is like, down the street. My husband drives. I'm holding a cake on a plate
No, it's so dangerous.
in my lap. Like, if we have any fast stop, the cake will be
No,
gone.
like rabbit jutting
So
out
for
in front of you,
Christmas-
which happens a lot where we live.
Oh my God. So Shauna got me the best like cake carrier thing,
It's
which
kinda
I love.
vintagey.
I love it so much. And I used it for my daughter's birthday this July. I made a Totoro cake. We'll have to put pictures of these on
Trisha's cake
Instagram.
making is like a business
Totoro was
we
a
might
step
wanna-
up. That was a step. So Totoro led to Jack Skellington, because now all of a sudden it was like you can do a face of somebody that she likes, and I was like Rick and Morty. I don't know the character. I don't know the show or whatever.
That would have been harder.
Lacey said Jack Skellington, and I was like, Oh my God, it's like a white
She has like
cake
a life-size Jack Skellington in
with
her
like,
room.
well,
Like,
Lacey
that's how
knows.
much
Yeah,
she
Lacey
loves
told me that, and like
She's a little dark.
that's her husband. She said. She says.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Can I find black frosting?" And yes,
You can.
yes, you can. And Lacey actually made the face, which I was like hovering over her. I had to like walk out of the room because she was like so nervous, and I was like, "You do it." I was like, "You're not gonna mess it up. It'll be fine." I so wanted to draw that face on though. You know what I'm talking about. I'm such a perfectionist.
So you know how like I'm mean?
I'm
but,
a
like,
perfectionist.
Trisha is like,
I'm a little bit a perfectionist.
she's like on it, you know? Where like she's like, especially with the big
here's
stuff.
the thing.
But you got that from your mom.
But I didn't have an alternative idea. I frosted this white cake and it was perfect. The cake was perfect. The frosting came out great. I got it all smooth, which is hard to do with like I'm just using like a whipped frosting from a jar or whatever. And then you add black on top of it. If you mess that up,
okay, your cake is gray.
You cannot erase it.
You have to mix it in, and then.
So my best idea was.
Although she probably would have liked that too.
My best idea was if we fucked up the black frosting.
Fucked up, which is basically like a stick face, which is just
Right?
eyes and like,
a big smile,
mouth with like little stitches.
But it's so simple that I wanted to draw it because I knew I could do that pretty well, right?
Lisa did great.
She wanted to do it.
I
did the eyes. She filled them in, and then she did the nose, and we had to like use like a little toothpick to like fix them. And then she did the smile, and I left the room because I was just like, I'm so nervous right now. The black frosting, the control of the black frosting out of the tube, and like on the white cake, and the eyes were good, and like I was just like, I have to walk away.
So funny,
and it came out great.
It looked beautiful.
Amazing. She did a great job, and now she feels
and my daughter was so
confident.
happy. She like saw it and
she
screamed.
was so surprised.
Like, and she's very.
She was trying to pretend like she didn't know we were coming out with a cake,
or like she's like
she's all like on her phone, like, "Oh, I'm so cool because I'm 14, like whatever." And I was like, "Griselda," and she like wouldn't look up, and I was like, "Okay, whatever." And then she's all
happy birthday,
and she finally like glanced up, and then she screamed, which was adorable.
She's very loud.
She loved it. No,
she had a really hard year, as did everyone. She had probably an exceptionally hard year for various reasons.
If
so
people
it was
had
really
a hard
nice.
year, your kids had the worst year.
They had it was like times 10, you know, and so it was nice for her to just have like something normal, like a cake for your birthday.
Right.
And like
it was cute. We did a candle on the side.
We did, Trisha was gonna put a candle on the cake, and
I
I was like,
forgot.
we're not supposed to do that anymore.
I'm like, why,
Shauna?
I was like, because it'll ruin his face. Like, I didn't get it at first, and then I'm like, oh yeah,
and I had like it kind of took a long time.
It took a few minutes. It took like an hour. Took an hour.
It felt really
at least
like longer than
I was like, huh? I have no idea.
You're like the person that washes the groceries when they come in, but you're like, spit on a cake. Sure,
no problem.
That everyone's gonna eat.
Just spit all over it.
Out of your
motorboat it.
Your perfect,
my perfect Jack Skellington face.
Oh my God! Moving my microphone. We do have a snack, even though we talked.
We
about
haven't
cake
talked
for
about
a
the
long
snack.
Time.
Well, so I got.
So it's leftovers.
I tried to buy everything I knew her daughter liked. So one of those things is nacho cheese and chips, and then I got a thing of shrimp at the grocery store, but I didn't realize it was frozen. So I took it out to serve it to everybody. And it was like a ring of frozen shrimp together, frozen.
And then I
solid.
said to Trisha in the kitchen, "Just save it. We'll eat it tomorrow."
And
by
she did.
ourselves.
She like whispered.
I did. I'll just put it back in the fridge. We'll eat it
tomorrow. Put in the fridge. I'll eat it. I'm coming over tomorrow. I'll eat it with you.
I'm eating one right now.
So we're eating the shrimp now. Shrimp cocktail is delicious. And if you're on Weight Watchers, shrimp is like 0 points. So there you go.
So I'm eating like 800 of them.
No, I mean you can because it's nothing.
The M.
So yeah, that was our snack, leftover snack book,
and we're eating some cheese. Did you say chips and cheese?
Chips and nacho cheese. The like queso.
I got like a chocolate thing, but I don't feel like eating it right now, so we'll do that next time.
We'll save it if I don't eat it when you're gone.
Maybe I'll try one before I leave.
Okay,
I'm drinking some wine. What a surprise!
Not surprised.
Anyway, shrimp cocktail. It's like one of our favorite.
It's just. I remember when I started liking it, I was about Lacey's age, about 10. We went to Florida. We used to go there for the summers from Missouri, and we drive down there. and get like a condo and stay like a beach situation, right?
Oh, I didn't know you guys did that.
Yeah, like we did
That's
it like
sweet.
twice. It wasn't like every. It sounds like I did it. I summered in Florida. It was like twice. But anyways, it had an impact on me because my parents would get
shrimp.
peel and eat shrimp from like the docks. They would like go. They wouldn't like go to like a fancy restaurant. They would like go buy it from like the fishmonger or whatever.
Well, it's
like,
so much better though. Usually,
Right?
anyway.
So they get the peel and eat shrimp, and you did have to peel the little shell off, and then you would dip it in the cocktail sauce. And I was like, forever. I was like, gross, gross, gross. And I'm sure my parents were like, fine, whatever.
Yeah, they're all more for me.
us.
Yeah, more for me.
So then finally I tried it, like for reals. And I was like, oh my God, that's
You're
amazing.
like, I've missed out on like 2 years of this.
Right? It was
I'm
like when
only
we
10.
lived. I mean, I grew up, right? I know.
How long have I been alive?
It's like when we were living in Indiana and I didn't really like avocado or guacamole. Avocados or guacamole. I was not interested in it at all. It was like weird green dip.
Well, because it probably was like not really like real avocado-ish.
No, it was like
Was it
some sort of weird green dip from the grocery store.
Yeah, like
So
mostly sour cream.
we move out here and my Aunt Christy makes like guacamole and like from like real avocados in California where like we grow them in my backyard. And I try it and I'm like, I was like 12 and a half and I was like, oh my God, like
This is
guacamole is
amazing.
amazing. And so, and I love avocados, and that was like the first real food my babies ate.
Oh my God. We still joke because when Lacey was little, she'd be like, avocado. Because she couldn't
Yeah.
even like talk, but she could say like avocado.
She's
She's
to
like,
this day,
avocado.
she will eat a whole avocado, like just like boom, both of them.
It's
So if I'm worried
delicious.
they're not getting enough like healthy fats, I'm like, have an avocado, and they're like, clump, done.
so good.
Anyways, so this has been Food Chat by Trisha's Childhood.
I
Moving
always
on.
liked shrimp, but I always liked a breaded shrimp when I was a kid.
I like popcorn shrimp.
Or just like a breaded,
No.
You know what I'm saying? No,
Yes.
I'm saying I liked
No.
it. You've already talked about what you liked. You're all no. I'm all no. You weren't there.
I
I was
get
by
it.
myself when I was a kid.
Understand you.
No, we would go to Bob's Big Boy,
Yes.
and I would always get fried shrimp, and
Which
I
is like-
loved it when I was little. Even I
Bob's
loved
Big
it.
Boy, a renowned seafood restaurant.
Okay, but I still ate shrimp when I was a child.
They're
And
known for their shrimp at Bob's Big
Okay.
Boy's hamburgers.
Look, we also used to go visit my grandma, who strangely lived in the town next to the town we live in now, and it seemed so far away when I was a kid.
Right?
She lived in
Yeah.
Camarillo,
Yeah.
and we would go out to like
That was like
Port
a big
Wainini
drive.
to a seafood restaurant, and
Funny.
she would always get. This is so funny. This is like the family seafood stories.
Family shrimp story.
She would always get crab Louis. We'd always like a thing. We'd always do it. I'd always get clam chowder, of course.
Yum.
And then I would get fried shrimp. Like that
What
was
would
like
your
my
parents get?
jam. My dad always ate swordfish.
Oh,
And
my dad loves swordfish.
yeah, he would always get
And
swordfish.
I would always try like a bite of it, and it was like,
For some reason, he loved swordfish. And
My
then
dad
I
did
don't know
too.
what my mom would get. She was like kind of like she'd change it every time.
Yeah.
Like she's not like I'd always get the same
my
thing.
mom would always start with crab cakes and then move on to something
Like my mom
new.
would maybe have
Like,
some shrimp
try
or
a
maybe
salmon
have
or
something
try a
else.
this, yeah.
She's kind of like all over the board, but like the rest of us were like very regimented. We always got the same thing.
So when I was a kid, we'd go to San Diego all the time, and there was a fish restaurant
San
we go
Diego.
to.
the way you said
San
it.
Diego.
I was like, is that the name of a restaurant in Indiana? Just kidding. Sorry. I was like, what is that?
We go to Anthony's Wharf or Anthony's.
Oh yeah, that's like the big famous place, right? Like in San
it was
Diego.
like a big fancy
in San Diego.
in
Sorry.
San Diego. And my dad would get swordfish. My mom would start with a crab cake and then like move on to, we would get like, we were like more adventurous then, but she would always like the crab cake appetizer or whatever, like, or she'd get that just for dinner. She'd order the whole appetizer just for her dinner, which was a very smart thing to do.
It is. I mean, especially if it's a crab cake
We're
that's
like
not
that.
breaded. If it's, I
Yeah.
mean, if it's not super breaded, if
It's
it's like
lumpy,
big old
yeah.
pieces of crab, then it's like
I
worth
want
it.
that right now.
I know.
No, but we're like that. We like a lot of small plates,
Yeah.
small, tiny snacks, not quite a meal.
I don't know. I just found a picture of me and Trisha's 40th birthday, or it was your 40th birthday technically, and we were at the lobster restaurant that's like so cool and old school with like booths And
in the valley.
Yeah, in the valley. Delmonico's, I think is
yes,
the
that's
place.
what it is. Yeah, they have like a brunch we've never been to.
Yeah, but they have these cool like old school like booths, you know, with like a mirror, and they're
feels
all
like the 40s or something. In there.
It's so fun. And so I found all these pictures popped up on my phone, and I was like, and there's all these pictures of like champagne lobster tail or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
we went all out because it was a birthday, but like, yeah, it was fun.
After that, we went and sang karaoke for the first time together.
We went to a shitty bowling alley after we went to a fancy dinner because that's how
perfect.
we are.
It was perfect. And we had the flask of vodka. By the time we got up there to sing,
it was like 1 a.m.
We were wasted. And there were a bunch of kids from like Glee doing karaoke.
No, do you remember we did that thing where we like went up to like this girl that had sang like Janis Joplin, and I was like,
"Oh, you're so good,"
and I was like, "You're amazing. You should really like sing more." And then she was like, "You are Janis Joplin," and we were just like all stupid, and she was like, "Thanks, guys."
We were super drunk, and she was just like, "You guys are like drunk old people right now."
Yeah,
like talking
drunk
to me.
40-year-olds talking to like a 20-year-old about how she's
like,
good.
"Go away. I come
nice.
here every week." Where have you been?
Here all week.
And you guys were not good. And you did not sound like Janis Joplin.
Well, we weren't singing Janis Joplin.
Well,
to our credit.
Even if we were, we couldn't have followed her, A. And B, we wanted to sing the Proclaimers, I Will Walk 500 Miles
because
or 5,000 miles.
Not a song that you really need to be able to sing.
Right.
Okay, Trisha can sing.
I would walk 5.
Yeah, it's just fun.
And they did not have that song, and so we panicked and we chose Gloria Estefan's Turn the Beat Around, which is our montage song in our heads.
Yeah.
That is a very high song.
No, not only that, it's so fast.
It's really fast. And it's
turn up,
down, down. Like we were not prepared at all.
And apparently we also didn't really know the words except for turn the beat.
The only thing that saved us was that Shauna was dancing.
I just kept dancing.
And there's a video somewhere. Oh, we need to put that on our Patreon, dude.
Okay, yeah, people pay to see it.
It's been long enough. It's been a couple years.
Pay.
Like,
no, but that's...
people can say. I think we could safely put it there, and no one will ever see it. Just kidding. 2 Patreons.
No, when we started out, people were like, "Yeah," and then it was like, "Oh,
no," because we
brought it strong.
We brought it with style. We had style
and flair.
Shauna dressed me that night. I like had a cute shirt. It was great. A good necklace. We were wearing these long dresses. Like, it was great.
We were very stylish.
We looked good. Shauna was like doing like the mariachi. What is it? The cha-cha. The mariachi. The mambo. What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm
some
just
kind
dancing
of
around.
dance, like some kind of cha-cha like dance. Sorry, that's the mariachi. One day, I need you to show me the mariachi.
The funny thing is, Trisha actually knows a lot about like Mexican culture.
I
and
do.
has actually
like,
been
totally...
to the Plaza Mariachis
oh my
and
God,
Guadalajara. But
I just like the wrong word came out.
Maybe merengue is
what merengue. That is what I was thinking. Oh my God.
That was awesome. Though.
Oh, that's
Everyone
never going to go away.
Everyone forgives you because you
mostly
do that.
I just want your mom. I want your mom to forgive me. So anyways, okay, so yeah, so that happened.
At my wedding.
You did.
You can confuse
it. It was
mix
cool.
It all together.
Just poured in a big
Anyway, we started out strong, ended maybe not as strong, and then
we just crashed and burned.
Then we just went home because it was like 2 a.m.
really drunk,
like Eagle Rock. I don't know where the hell we were.
Horrible the next day,
but it was worth it.
It was worth it
because we were 40.
Okay. Let's go on to our very important announcement about Right Club. About mariachi.
San Diego. I was like, was that a restaurant in Indiana? I was like so confused. Okay, sorry, everybody.
Oh my God.
This is like an outtake, but we'll probably just leave it in because this is just that kind of After you do a live stream all day, like everything feels weird
it
after
took me
that.
like 4 days to recover
No,
from
I
that.
was like jacked up after it. I feel like I was really stressed about it, as were you even more because you were doing the
So
tech
it felt
stuff.
like a really weird release when it was
Yeah,
over.
but then it was like exhaustion, and then it was
Yeah.
also the election, and then we had to just go to work, and it was like, oh my God. And then it was like my daughter's birthday, and I was just like,
it was your daughter's birthday a couple days later.
Yeah, like 2 days later. I was like,
God.
and then I was like, Trisha, we're gonna come to your house and have a party. You decorate, make all the food, and make the cake.
And I was like, I'm here for you.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
You're the best.
Okay. Right. Write it, bitch. Right Club. All right. So just a little bit of announcements first.
Okay.
Bret-Jordan, who is a bench lean and was on our live stream randomly, thank you, Brett, was also a Patreon. Is our Patreon? Sorry, Brett, I'm totally fucking this up right now. But he gets to pick a Right Club for us.
Yes.
And so he sent me the Right Club, so I'm going to announce that. We're going to make this due super fast. So you're listening to this now.
Get on it. Get it going.
Tuesday the 17th, and we want this due by the morning of the 22nd because we're going to record the
November
afternoon.
22nd.
November 22nd. So 1 week, get this done because we want this Right Club to come out right before Thanksgiving. So right.
Get ready.
Get ready.
Get your turkey ready.
Number 2, we may be taking a little bit of time off in December.
I mean, God knows we took some off in the summer accidentally.
We did take an extended quarantine break for no reason at all.
It's just
except
the
for
holidays.
fires.
Also,
and
we're exhausted,
things.
and as everyone is, and so we just need a small break.
It's just it's a
tiny
lot,
break.
but like there's not a lot going on, but it's still a lot. And I know you know what that means.
Yeah,
dear listener.
No, it's like, well, because thankfully, not thankfully, there's not a lot of like travel or anything like that going on right now. But it's just like the exhaustion of living and being and like working, and it's just a lot. And we want to come like charged for the new year, like with some energy, not like we're still crawling our way to like.
So I do
victory.
have a couple little podcasts that we've been working on the side, and I think I might put a little sampler out in December just to see if you like it. So one of them is about us being on a diet, and the other, woo, yay! And the other one is about Shauna still hasn't found what she's reaching for. Awful. Oh, wow.
It's a noisemaker.
Happy
it
New
says party
Year.
time. And it was the first thing I can't find
So,
in kazoos right now.
The other podcast we've been working on and talking about for a while is one about every single episode of I Love Lucy from the very beginning. And just like a quick podcast about what the episode's about, what we thought about it.
Why we love it, because we love them all.
Exactly. And so those are 2 little samples I'm hoping to put together for you over December. So we'll still be around because I'm going to hopefully be on Pop-Up Filmcast for their 12 days of pop-up they do every year, or have done for the last couple years, where they do a fun like mock movie scenario on their show, like a mini-sode. And the other place that you can find us is on the Podfix feed for iTunes or Spotify or whatever. If you just search Podfix, it comes up. And we're involved in New Pod Pomo and all the shows in the network. I think there's like 20 of us now are doing quick little like 15-minute episodes with different BuzzFeed articles. So we're featured on 2 of those. Plus we did an interview with Toph from This Week Today. It came out last week. I tweeted about it.
It's so good, you guys.
It's really funny.
Well, it's so good because it's us. It's funny.
So good.
It's funny because, Toph is really funny, and it's just you get a whole story of our lives, which I didn't realize until I listened to it that was kind of what we did.
It's kind of perfect. And Pod 6 is where one Podfix show interviews another and asks about 6 questions. So, or actually
it seems
6
like
questions.
100 questions.
But it was
we're
only
talking.
6.
I'm just
but
kidding.
No, but it's great. And so we're
It's
going to
not that
be
long.
interviewing for December. We're interviewing Lisa and Sam of I Shake My Head. So that will be coming out in
Woohoo!
December too.
Girl
So
power.
we may be gone, but we won't be gone.
We
you know
won't
what I
be
mean?
far from your hearts.
So on with the Right Club. Do you want to read it? Because I just talked a lot.
Did you?
I mean, I feel like I did, but there it is.
Can I read? Okay. So this is the writing prompt brought to you by Bret-Jordan, a benchling of
Woo!
much distinction. Okay. This is the writing prompt. Include the following phrase. That is not how you cook a turkey in your 250 word story, or as we say, 3 minutes, or whatever conglomeration of those things happens. So the writing prompt is to include the phrase, that is not how you cook a turkey, which I love.
I love
and
it.
I already can't wait to do it.
Me too, Brett. We love that one. And Brett never follows the 3-minute rule, but he does follow the 250 word rule.
Yeah, so I think that's why he said that.
That works for us, as long as it's not like, an essay.
I don't want a book about how not to cook a turkey.
Short and sweet, guys.
Call the Butterball line, you guys. Okay?
Can we call the Butterball line? Like, that would be fun.
Ooh.
What will we ask them, and will they tell us?
I've never called the Butterball line, have you? I
No.
know how to make a turkey, so do you.
I do.
We learned early on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why or how. We were just into learning how to do all the big stuff. Like when we were younger,
Yeah.
like in our 20s, we're like, we're going to learn how to like make tamales. We're going to learn how to roast a turkey
Yeah.
or roast a chicken. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Make
we were
lasagna, like
we were
whatever our
like-
moms did when we were kids.
Or just like the big staples,
Yeah.
right? Like a roast. I don't know. Like this
Yeah.
sounds very American. Like we really hit it all. And the tamales. But we should make tamales because the other day, Alan, my son, was like, we were talking about tamales, and Edgar's like, do you want to make them? And I'm like, me and Tia have made them like a bunch of times. And
Yeah.
he's like, maybe we should make them. And I was like, maybe we should. Like,
Let's
we don't have
do
shit
it.
to do.
We haven't done it in forever. We should do
We don't have
it.
shit to do, but yet we're so tired. No, but it's just like that thing where you're like, well, you're not going to really go anywhere. There's no like big things. So it's like, it's kind of fun to stay at home and
Well,
just
we
like
discovered
whip out a
instead
bunch
of-
of tamales.
Instead
like,
of lard, we used butter, and it was like so good.
we used
remember?
butter, or we used like Crisco, like
Right, but we
vegetable.
like the thing that won. I thought when we did all of that, like
I think it was the
trial and error,
butter.
it was the butter.
Because I had that book by that lady that used butter. I went
Yeah.
to like, okay, back when there was the book.
The cookbooks.
No, yeah, back when there were cookbooks. There still are. No, the
Like
LA Times like book fair thing that they used
Oh,
to
yeah.
have. Remember?
they still have that.
No, they don't anymore. They used to have it. It like went away, and now nothing public ever happens. But it was like the LA Times book. But then the LA Times maybe I don't know. I don't want to mess up the history, but it used to be at UCLA, and the LA Times did it, and then it like went away, and then like nobody did it, and then like I don't know what happened. But it was a big thing where like authors would come and like autograph their books and like do readings, and they'd have like stages, and so. One of them was this lady that had written this book about how to make tamales, and she like was making them there on the stage too and talking about it and her family and like whatever. And so I had her book, and then I had learned from my family, maybe we should just do a whole tamale episode.
Yes,
Yes.
let's do it.
Sounds fun, huh? Now I feel kind of committed, like we have
I'm there
to,
for that. Mhm.
but I think we can do it. Like
I was
so
trying to sneak a shrimp while you were talking.
it's
Sorry.
all about like how Trisha's like the baker. Like my kids are just like, where's your cake? Where's your cookies? Like what's going on?
Here's my cookie. Wait,
No,
what?
seriously, Trisha's Christmas cookies are like famous. But then it's like, well, what else? And it's like, apparently I make good salads, which makes it sound like I'm some sort of petite flower. But like, I just like making good salads, I guess. I don't know.
You are a good cook though. There was a while when I feel like it was when I first had my daughter, I would come to your house to like work on our
In the blog, we
blog,
would cook.
and your
Yeah.
husband would be at work still, and you'd have dinner cooking when I walked in, and it was so amazing. I was like being married to the most wonderful wife that like had like dinner. It was always different. It wasn't like we always had pasta or something. It was like always like
That was
a
back
new
in
recipe.
That was like
or
back in the young sort of almost single days.
you were like mincing garlic and shit. Like it was amazing.
I do like to cook, and so Trisha and I have done this tamale thing. We also made a short film about
Oh.
tamales. God, I wish we could find
We
that.
can find it.
I don't know where
It's
it is.
on your computer. Yeah, we gotta go.
Okay, no, I don't know. My phone,
Oh.
my watch was buzzing.
You're looking at it. I'm like,
No,
we
because
gotta
it was
go.
like, "Jay."
Time is up. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're like way sidetracked.
It's all good.
Get back to the turkey and do the writing prompt, everybody.
Yes, and we will. So get that into us by the 22nd by like, I don't know, 12 noon Pacific. Does that give you enough time, Hammer? Just kidding. I didn't mean to call you
Damn,
out.
It sounded so mean when you said it, and she didn't mean it mean.
I
Because
didn't.
Trisha's
I was
really
being
very
funny.
nice.
I'm actually a very nice person.
Thank you for, by the way, like all the people that I just have to thank again. Like
Yes.
our
No, please.
benchlings, like Kayla and Hammer and Brett, and also, oh my gosh, I just forgot her name. Your friend from the Epilepsy Foundation. That came.
Lori
Yeah.
Bonfiglio.
She jumped on in the beginning for a minute
Yep.
and said hi and gave us a bunch of prizes.
Yeah.
And like
A bunch of shirts and bracelets.
it
And
was so fun to have
really
everybody there.
awesome.
Kelly from Boobies and Newbies was on for
Yeah,
like a lot
the
of the
very
beginning.
beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I just
No.
want to say thank you because like those things, especially the first time you do them, like you don't really know what's gonna happen.
It
or who's
really
gonna
helps to
show
just
up.
see a familiar like face in the chat, and you're like, "Oh my god, thank you for being here, Sean or Nick or whoever." Like you
Yeah.
guys, like really, Bob, like you made a huge difference for us, and your support is just like it's incredible, and just inspires us to do better next time
Yeah,
and ask for more help in the future.
we will do good.
Yes.
All right, everybody.
So-
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
I raise a shrimp cocktail to all of you.
Cheers.
All right, keep writing.
Keep snacking.
Goodbye.
Bye bye bye.
This has been a transmission of the Podfix Network. For more about this show and other great Podfix programs, go to podfixnetwork.com.
Shrimp cocktail.
Can't even do it again. I can't.